All right, my family and I are headed out on a 48-state road trip, and this is the second video in our itinerary series because this is our second leg of the trip. So the last one ended with us dropping our my in-laws off in Midway, and now the family is headed on the rest of the trip just by ourselves. Our first stop is to head down into the Four Corners area, and we are going to be passing through Moab, so we'll see how much time we spend there, but it is a 6.5-hour drive from Midway down to the Four Corners area. This is unfortunately our only experience in Arizona. So I wish we could spend more time in Arizona, but unfortunately, this is all we got, is right in that Four Corners area. I have been to Phoenix a number of times through work and other things, but this is all we got for this trip. We are going to be spending the night in Durango, Colorado. I have a really good friend who is from that area, so we have visited there before, but it'll be fun to go back and take the kids to Durango. Now, from Durango is the single longest drive of the entire road trip. So I am dreading this. We will see if we're able to get through it, but we're going from Durango down into Albuquerque, New Mexico. And New Mexico, I've never been there, but it does have a little bit of frustration in my life that I haven't been able to get over. In the 5th grade, there was a geography bee, and I was crushing it. So I was going to win the geography bee until the question was, what is the second most populated city in New Mexico? But I couldn't for the life of me think of another city in New Mexico, and the answer was Santa Fe at the time, and that kicked me out of the geography bee. So New Mexico, you hold a special place in my heart, and not a great one. Hopefully that can be changed with this road trip. From Albuquerque, we're going to continue heading east through Amarillo, Texas, and then we hope to end up in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Now, it is said on Google Maps here that it's supposed to be an 11-hour and 20-minute drive. We will have some stops in between there, so it's going to be extended into probably a 13-hour drive. We'll see how that goes, but that's going to be a beast. That's the one. There's a reason for it, but that's going to be an absolute beast. From Oklahoma City, we are going to head south and dip down to get Dallas, Texas. I've never been to Dallas. I have been to San Antonio. I haven't been to Dallas. Jared, again, from the NBA side of things, is super pumped to see both the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Dallas Mavericks from his NBA stadium tour. And we're going to go from Dallas, this is all in the same day. We'll head east into Little Rock, Arkansas, and spending the night in Little Rock. Now, Arkansas, I don't know what it is about you, but everyone I talk to about Arkansas kind of pokes fun at you. And I am excited to see Arkansas for myself. Hopefully it exceeds expectations, but Little Rock should be great. From Little Rock, we are going to continue heading east, and we're going to tap into Memphis, Tennessee, another NBA city with the Grizzlies. My son Jared actually has Ja Morant's shoes, so he's super pumped to go to Memphis. We aren't staying in Memphis. We've been advised against staying in Memphis, but we have been told that is the second biggest pyramid in the world is located in Memphis, and it happens to be a Bass Pro Shop. And it's funny because you think of 1,000 years from now as people are excavating the world and they see the huge pyramids in Egypt, and then they see the second biggest pyramid in the world in Memphis, Tennessee, thinking it's probably some king's burial lair, but it turns out it's a Bass Pro Shop with a hotel in it. From Memphis, we are going to head directly south to Jackson, Mississippi. I've never been to Mississippi in general. I do have a business partner who lives in Mississippi, so I would like to stop by and say hello to him on the way, but that'll be a good time. Not too busy of a day. It's just 2 hours from Little Rock to Memphis and then another 3 hours down to Jackson. So a relatively, 5 hours is still a lot of driving in a day, but compared to the days before, not so bad. From Jackson, we head about 3 hours south and are going to hit New Orleans. Now, we aren't staying in New Orleans. We're just kind of passing through, but that'll be a unique city to see. A lot of history, a lot of culture there, and the food. I'm excited to try some food here, especially as we start getting into the deep south. It's an experience that I haven't had, so experiencing this food will be insane, I think. After we pass through New Orleans, we're going to head about 2 hours east until we get to Mobile, Alabama. Mobile. I went golfing with somebody from Alabama and he corrected me because all I've seen is Forrest Gump where it's Mobile, Alabama, but it's Mobile. Mobile. I think it's Mobile. I'm getting it wrong the entire time. Anyway, Mobile allegedly is where Mardi Gras started. New Orleans has stolen it from them. I hear there's a big debate about this, but Mobile is where Mardi Gras started, and there are some interesting World War II ships that I'm excited to go see there. From Mobile, we head directly east, and we're going to pass through Tallahassee and end up in Orlando, Florida. So this is going to be about a 7.5-hour drive to get to Orlando, Florida, but in Orlando, and this is what ends phase 2 of this trip, is going to be another Disney experience. So we all know that Universal Universal is there, but also Disney World is in Orlando, Florida. Now, a couple of huge things happening here. Number one of our followers, both on this channel and on my other main channel, really hooked us up. And I'm not going to mention his name, but I can't thank him enough. Him and his wife hooked us up with a place on one of the resorts. And so we're going to be spending a night there at one of the resorts, thanks to him and his wife, as well as some tickets into the parks. Now, the other partner that I need to mention here, and I mentioned him in part 1, but all of these stops have been scheduled by ET Family Travel. So I did talk about them in step 1 of this tour, but here's another place where they really stepped up. So they got us the VIP tour at Disney World, where we will be able to experience that park in a unique way. They also got us a night at one of the resorts. So ET Family Travel, again, thank you if you're watching this. If anybody else is watching this and you are planning to book a trip, it doesn't matter if it's just visiting another state or if it's huge like you're visiting Europe, and especially if you're doing anything Disney like the Disney World or the cruises, you've got to reach out to ET Family Travel. Absolutely incredible. Like in step 1, for this step 2, we are going to give our kids a new roll of quarters, and anytime that they complain or they fight each other or anything that they misbehave, we get to take a quarter from them, and any of the quarters that they have left over, they can spend. They can add them to their first step quarter pile and use them in Orlando. So I'm so excited to see Orlando. I went to Orlando when I was in high school for a DECA competition, the National DECA competition. Shout out to Matt Piles and Wayne Ditmore. But I really don't remember too much of the Disney experience other than a duck like flying right at my head to attack my head. So I'm excited to see Disney World in Orlando. I hear it's way bigger than California, and the kids again will have this incredibly magical experience, this time with just us and them. Here's the final note. We are doing this entire thing through the middle of the summer, driving through the southern part of the United States. It's going to be hella hot this entire trip. So we are fully expecting that we are going to be miserable and uncomfortable in heat and humidity, but it's totally going to be worth it. And I'm trying to acclimate my body to this experience by just locking myself in my car with a jacket on. Anyway, that is phase 2 of our epic road trip. Phase 3 is going to be heading north up along the East Coast until we get to Niagara Falls. So make sure that you stay tuned for phase 3 to see all the fun cities and experiences that we are planning for this epic road trip.